welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's get our machine. I'm currently sitting at 10 with 10.575. I was a little late with my morning dose on the pump, so that could be why I'm up. I was 5.2 before breakfast, so I think that's a reason why. Okay, just take it. Nope, we'll do that. Okay, time and range. We're sitting at 71%, which is pretty good. It's acceptable. The rest of the time, let me just get it so we can read it here, is 27% above range, 71 in range, 2% below range. Now that's okay. Well, it's not super, it's okay. And then I was in SmartGuard 100% of the time. So, what's SmartGuard? Well, that allows the pump to monitor my blood sugars, and it will also allow my blood sugars, it will stop me from receiving bolus if my blood sugars drop below 3.9. So all in all, pretty good. Today, I want to discuss eating and type 1 diabetes. So grab your cup of coffee and we'll be right back. Okay, so not eating and type 1 diabetes. When I was first diagnosed, is something that I've learned, that I've discussed on this channel quite a bit. If you've taken your insulin, you must eat. Back when I was first diagnosed, you were given your insulin to take. You were either given an intermediate or long-acting insulin, and you take a short-acting insulin. People who are on multiple daily injections still follow this route. Sorry, itchy eye, don't know why. Don't know why I have an itchy eye, I guess I'll die. That's an old song. But you had to eat all day. I can remember saying, oh, I don't want to eat. Sometimes, but you still had to eat. You didn't have a choice. But yet, you still had to eat. Now, with the pump, it can give me what I need to live, but the only time I need to take insulin is if I'm going to eat. Mind-blowing. And, pure mind-blowing. So if I don't eat, I don't take insulin. Now, something that always kind of enthralled me, sorry, get that out of the way, was I think I got an eating disorder from that philosophy of eating. Instead of growing up eating when I was hungry, I was eating 3 meals a day, and for a while there, I had a morning snack, uh, afternoon snack, and a bedtime snack. And I was eating all the time. But what was I, 17? Yeah, those teenage years. And then as I grew older, I didn't eat the morning snack. In fact, I rarely even took my morning snacks. Yeah, the fun times. But it was usually something like one fruit exchange. And having to carry around your one fruit, which was like half a banana or an orange or a small apple, and having to try to eat it in between 5 minutes of getting to your next class was pretty crazy. But we did it. When I entered into high school, my senior high school years, I wasn't having any snacks whatsoever. I would go downstairs and get, just like any other kid, a chocolate bar or chips or something. But I didn't have, oh well, saved. I can remember in the private school I was at, we had a fridge. I was allowed to have a fridge, and in that fridge, I would have cheese. I think it was mostly cheese, like, the really cheap industrial cheese. I'd get a block of that and some sort of sandwich meat, and would really kind of slop together a snack and do that. I know it came in handy a few times after sports prep. I called it sports prep, but where we have to eat pretty quickly, and I'd start coming back sweating, and it was about half an hour before dinner, and just kind of sweaty, and oh, it was rough, but we made it through. The one thing you had to always remember is if you eat, you have to take insulin. And if you take insulin, you're going to have to eat. Pure and simple. You're going to have to get your blood sugar high. Now, back during those times, we did not have to count carbs. We were given a certain diet, and it was called the exchange system. Yeah, I can really show my age now by discussing the exchange system. And you could have 4 meat exchanges for dinner, and that would be 4 ounces of meat or 4 ounces of chicken. I think they kept it pretty easy. But you had your little book, and you couldn't stray from this little booklet. If you had more, oh my God, you couldn't handle it. There were a few cases where I'd get hungry. I was a growing boy, and I would get so hungry I'd eat part of my lunchtime for breakfast because I wasn't getting enough for breakfast. And my sister caught me once, and oh my God, life could have ended right then. And you know what? Times change. My mom, till her dying days, said, oops, sorry about this, guys. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. That's not how you were taught. And I tried to explain that it's now totally different. My mom would go crazy to make sure I had milk in the house because I had a milk exchange. So if I didn't want to eat, I couldn't say, okay, well, this amount of insulin is for how much I need to run on, and this amount is for the calories I take. So I'll just take that amount of insulin and I won't eat. Because it always ended up badly. Don't play around. If you're on multiple daily injections, it's now a little fine-tuned because we have better long-acting insulins than I had. Actually, I don't think my pills now are even designed for that. It's only used on animals now. Mine was called Lente insulin. It was always blue in color. And then once later on, I went to NPH insulin, and you really start to learn. But in a couple of days, we're going to do a video games that we play. And that's where I started learning about some little games that we played, which aren't good whatsoever. So, very simple things to remember. Okay, if you take insulin, or you give yourself insulin, whether it be the pump, or a pen, or a syringe, and you've counted for carbs, you're going to have to eat those many carbs to counteract the insulin. If you don't, you're going to have a low blood sugar, pure and simple. And I used to go through some crazy low blood sugars. But was it all me? Yeah, pretty much. So, just remember this phrase. If you have given your insulin to cover your carbs, you're going to have to eat. If you don't give your insulin to cover your carbs, you're fine. But check with your doctor. He or she will have the best answer to your question. With that, kind of sketchy one today. Hopefully we'll do a better one tomorrow. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email address is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. All one line. Drop me